Philadelphia Eagles training camp day 5. A lot going on. A couple injuries are hopefully not serious because now we're looking a little vulnerable defensively at a couple positions, and there are things still wide open, still in question. And we really need to see like what's going on here. So I'm gonna go over a lot of stuff going on. I thought Hurts had a great day today as usual, and a lot of good things to talk about here, and some things that are a little concerning. So just want to go over all of that today for the 5th day of Eagles training camp.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, and hope everyone's ready for their weekend this weekend. Since this is going to be the first practice, consecutive practices. Actually, the Eagles had their 5th practice today. They will have their 6th practice tomorrow, so there will be practice tomorrow, and most likely Saturday they will have a day off. So definitely check out all of that, and we're just going to get through today. Now to go through obviously the injury report for the Philadelphia Eagles. Pretty much the same thing. Deon Cain has the ankle, is out a 2nd consecutive day. And, man, I really want Deon Cain to really I want to see more receivers in this competition. I know we have our starting receivers, but I want to just see the competition on the back end. And Deon Cain was one of the most exciting ones coming into this year, and just so much with him. He was one of the underdogs of camp last year and did such a great job, and just couldn't get a roster spot. Went to the XFL, was an MVP. Just did great, but it's gotta be healthy, and hopefully he will get better soon. The same with the other injuries that we've had. Derek Barnett with the knee injury, still missing time as usual. Avonte Maddox with this toe injury, once again limited. And Hassan Reddick, groin soreness, which he'll be back in a few days. I'm not worried about him too much, but Avonte Maddox is the one that pisses me. I mean, Barnett is a given. We already know. But with Avonte Maddox, it's just like, man, I mean, he do one-on-ones with the DBs and receivers the other day, the 4th practice, or the 3rd, I forgot what practice it was. I thought it was last practice he did one-on-ones at a limited capacity, but then he slowed down and had to sit on the sideline. Like, why is he, if he has this toe injury, why is he putting like that's what I just don't get about it. Like, if he can't put pressure on his toe, then how is he getting better if he's doing limited work? I don't know how that works out with the toe injuries. It just kind of confuses me. And nickel cornerback spot is already a problem enough as it is right now, which I don't want it to become a problem. So kind of nuts. But to the good news with Jalen Hurts, having a fantastic day, 6 for 6, throwing to multiple receivers today and tight ends, having a great day. What was he? 6 for 6 on the 7-on-7s. The one catch that I really did, and I think one player got involved that about time someone got involved here, was Tyree Jackson, the tight end. 6'6", long arms, big hands. The guy's just been hurt every year. It's just, I wish I could see more from this tight end spot. You have Dallas Goedert, you have Dan Arnold, the veteran that they signed, Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stahl. And then you have Tyree Jackson here that has shown flashes that, man, he can have some reliable hands, big tight end, big body, and just got to stay healthy for one off season would be really nice. So he'll probably get a lot of reps in training camp. Want to see more from him. The tight end group in general is really interesting. So I think Calcaterra has become one of my favorite tight ends. Between his blocking and obviously receiving. So there's a lot going on with it, because we really don't talk about the tight ends too much. But Tyree Jackson, I'm rooting for guys like this. I really am rooting for guys that are, just haven't really been able to get their shot. And when he does, who knows? Just stay healthy and let him do his thing. So I was really happy with him. But other than that, Hurts had a fantastic day, threw to multiple receivers, tight ends today. So he had the 7-on-7s and had the red zone stuff. So I thought he did a good job. Obviously, we're only hearing what we're hearing. So there wasn't too much on all of his throws today, but from what I heard, it was a fantastic day. And I don't think Hurts has thrown a pick yet in practice. So it's been a good day. Now, DeAndre Swift is really interesting. I mean, Nick Sirianni did talk about this. Say he doesn't look at DeAndre Swift as a running back. He looks at him as a wide receiver. Just think, like, if you really wanted, you could move him all over the field, do whatever you want with him. Like, if you want to take Quez Watkins out, put him as a wide receiver, have Rashad Penny in the backfield. There's so many different things. So Jalen Hurts threw to DeAndre Swift on a wheel route today, wide open, just looking fast, looking great. DeAndre Swift is just one of those running backs. He can cut on a dime, 100% speed. I've said this term a million times because he can. I think when it comes to vision, DeAndre Swift is one of the best running backs when it comes to elite vision. See things before they happen. And I can't imagine DeAndre Swift with a number one offensive line getting to the second level every single time and lining them up wherever you want and be able to do other things with running backs on top of that if you want to line them up as a receiver and just make things very interesting. I think it's going to be a matchup nightmare for these defenses to really key in on. You can't key on one guy, and DeAndre Swift he's got a chip on his shoulder, man. He's pissed off going into this season for a lot of reasons, and he definitely, I believe, is the focal point. Compared to what they treated Miles, like 95% of the time when DeAndre Swift is at practice, he is catching passes nonstop. Miles Sanders last year, you could tell that they had no trust in him, and just the difference of these two training camps and how these two running backs are treated. Swift at 24 years old and obviously missed 3 games last year. It's a lot to look forward to, man. And a 24-year-old wide receiver, a running back, because I'm calling him a wide receiver at this point because they're literally focusing him in the passing game so much. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we're missing from this offense last year. So it's really good, man. So, I mean, when you want to talk about, hey, Joe, what is your favorite not player that wasn't here last year? I think I honestly, I'm most excited for DeAndre Swift. I'm excited for Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter and all these players, but I think Swift is like my top guy. I don't know why. Because I want to see more from this running back core. I want to see more from just Kenneth Gainwell is a solid running back, but I don't want him the only person to be getting the ball, and acting as a wide receiver and throwing to him on the checkdowns or whatever. I mean, you throw to DeAndre Swift on a checkdown in open space, it's 9 out of 10 times he makes the first guy miss, multiple guys miss, and has that home run hit mentality in his legs. So I feel really good about it. Now, Rashad Penny, interesting enough, Rashad Penny was doing kick returns today. I don't know why. Okay, I know he's lost some weight. He was at 235 to 237 in Seattle, trying to drop to 225 right now. The Eagles have taken very good care of him health-wise, feels lighter on his feet, and I wonder if maybe they see something more. And to be honest with you guys, as much as we have a problem at special teams, because special teams completely blows ass, okay, it's bad. It's not good. Because we need to see some things before we get into the season. But Rashad Penny, I don't think needs to do double time right now. Much as he's not a focal point running back this year, he will be used, whether it's third downs or whatever the case may be. But to put him on special teams and taking hits, I don't think it's the right thing for him to do right now, unless this was a joke, because it wasn't. Everybody was saying that Rashad Penny was taking snaps at kick return, so I don't know why, but I guess we'll find out later on. Anyway, I mean, this is probably a joke too, because AJ Brown was returning punts today. I guess, I don't know, maybe he was just helping the punter out or something, but I think that was like a big joke today. But yeah, I doubt that's the case. Now, defensively, we got to really look at this, because this is where I'm starting to get a little nervous. And it looked like Nakobe Dean ended up getting hurt today. James Bradbury ended up getting hurt today. Nakobe Dean ended up going to the medical tent, and he came out. Trainer had his helmet, and he came out the rest of practice. He stayed out the rest of practice. It looks like, from what an employee said to one of the beat writers, it looked like Nakobe Dean. I don't know what the injury was. Nothing was disclosed about it, but I think the Eagles just kept him out precautionary, just to make sure there's no reason to keep him on the field the whole entire time. So I think he is fine. I think we're fine there. James Bradbury ended up getting hurt, and then he was fine afterwards. Nothing crazy about it. So this makes your linebacker core so vulnerable right now. I mean, I feel like if Nakobe Dean actually was injured, then you're starting to really worry at this point, because then you had Nicholas Morrow out there, and Christian Ellis got first-team reps immediately, which was great. But it's starting to scare you a little bit, too. Do the Eagles really have to make a trade? Do they have to make a move at this position? Because it's just getting to a point where, you never think Nakobe Dean's going to get hurt, but you never know what players can get hurt. And if he does, I feel very vulnerable at this position, because I don't really trust anything behind it. Christian Ellis, we're always hearing his name, but, I got to see if he's really a gem. It's great. I hope he is. I hope he's just a huge sleeper for this offseason, or I hope he's not just an offseason standout and doesn't do anything during the regular season. We've had plenty of players that do great in the offseason and then get to the regular season and play horrible, or not lived up to what they were living up to be in the offseason as a big gem, a big sleeper at camp. And I really don't want that to happen either, but it's it's a little alarming at times. So I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but I don't know. Something's got to happen here. I still don't think we have enough. I really don't, because if Dean is the only guy that's promised right now, I I don't know. Usually when you don't hear about players' names at practice, it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. It just depends. Like Nicholas Morrow has been so quiet. I don't even. It's so quiet I could hear a mouse fart in the wind. That's how quiet it's been. Like literally, that's how quiet it's been. So I don't know what else to really say about it. It's something needs to get done here. I don't feel comfortable with it at all at linebacker right now. Now, safety is a whole nother issue now. Well, not an issue, but it's starting to be a little bit of a, we're flip-flopping players back and forth. We're, Kavon Wallace, Sidney Brown were getting first-team reps today, which was, kind of insane. Like Sean Desai said there's no first, second, third team on this defense. They're giving everybody a fair opportunity. But Sidney Brown's interesting because he was on third team a few practices ago. Then he went to second team last practice. Now, and now is starting to get reps with the first team now. So you always have to, look out to see, who's the rising star at safety and what's going on here. You know what I mean? So with Kavon Wallace, he's been getting a shot every past few practices, he's been, are we seeing something from Kavon Wallace? Is something there? Are they getting something out of him that we haven't seen? Because he has been injured at times, and he had some times as a starter last year where he got in for some plays and made some good plays. He's been a full-time special teamer pretty much, hasn't lived up to a higher potential from, obviously, he hyped himself up a little bit too much with his mouth and his pictures. And when he got here, I thought he was a big Brian Dawkins wannabe, between all the things that he did in the offseason. I don't know. He's cut me the wrong way at some times, but he did show up on some plays last year. And I wonder if maybe is this a fluke or do we really have something with Kavon Wallace? Reed Blankenship has been the most consistent starter in camp. So I think they're very high on Reed Blankenship. But when it comes to the other spot, Terrell Edmonds was the plan B option for Chauncey, and it seems like he might not even be the answer. I don't know. I could be wrong, but now you have Sidney Brown in the mix. You have Kavon Wallace in the mix. It's going to be a very interesting camp. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. If you guys remember, Nick Sirianni did say that the safety spot is wide open. It's a wide open spot. So they're already telling us that there's a glaring hole at safety right now. We've talked about trades. We saw the report a few days ago that Howie Roseman is looking for a Chauncey Gardner type trade, a specific trade in that matter where they give up draft picks for a high quality safety. That's what they're looking for. So there's no Kevin Byard out there. There's no Budda Baker out there. I mean, you really don't have too much Adrian Amos if he's not signed. I don't even know who else is really available safety-wise, but they want to trade. They don't want to sign a free agent. They want to trade for one and get value out of a player, maybe a safety out there that has one more year left on their, on their contract. We've talked about a few players a couple of videos ago on that safety spot. So I don't know. I think we just need to let the competition roll out and not panic, but I can't stand to panic sometimes, because how long are you going to let this roll out until training camp? I mean, we didn't sign Chauncey till late, so a trade could happen at any moment. I get it. But I'm starting to think now the Eagles really need to, they drafted Sidney Brown, which is great, but I think they really need to start prioritizing this safety spot for the future. A young player or somebody that's going to get a lot of opportunity, and they're going to have, whether they draft one next year or, they find somebody in this group this year, they really need to find a star and a future player at that position. So I totally agree with that. Jalen Carter had some matchups today, which, he faced Lane Johnson, he faced Jordan Mailata, but you're facing greatness at the end of the day. Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack in 2 years? I don't even remember. So Jalen Carter, had some draw reps from both of them. He necessarily didn't beat them, but he was getting some pressure. He was moving them around a little bit, but he was giving them a nice fight. So it's nice to see them going against some big savvy vets. And then when Brett Toth came in, I think he totally destroyed him. I think Brett Toth was holding on to dear life when Carter had a grab on him. So it's kind of crazy. So Carter's having a good practice. Josh Sweat's another one where no one's really talking about him too much. Not really a lot of Eagles fans talk about Josh Sweat. What do you have? 11 sacks last year, and a fourth round pick out of Florida State. Just had a really, really good day. I had a interception, almost a pick at the line of scrimmage, deflection at the line of scrimmage, and you don't realize how valuable Josh Sweat is, man. And then I know he's been injured at some points of his career, but since he's been with the Eagles, I think he's gotten better every single year. He's becoming a better pass rusher. Even against the run, he's not bad either. He's becoming more balanced, and I'm starting to like him a lot more. And I think he's going to have even a better year this year. Am I going to say double-digit sacks? I could say he probably will, to be honest. I have a lot of faith in him going into the season, which is really good. Nolan Smith obviously getting more opportunity at, off-ball linebacker this, today because Nakobe Dean wasn't playing, so they did a lot more. Now, this isn't the first time where Nolan Smith was playing multiple positions. He's played defensive end in coverage. He's played outside linebacker covering defensive end covering Dallas Goedert and Boston Scott a couple practices ago. So they're taking advantage of his athleticism. As much as I want to be selfish and have him as a full-time edge rusher, I want to do a little bit more than that with him because he's got way too much. He's the jack of all trades when it comes to athleticism because he has way too much to give to this team than just be an edge rusher at the end of the day. So, I think there's just more opportunity because Nakobe Dean was sitting out. They want to do more with Nolan Smith, and that's fine. You know what I mean? That's what I expect anyway. If they're not going after a linebacker, are they going to say, you know what, Nolan Smith is here, so we're going to use him at that position anyway? Because to be honest with you, Patrick Johnson, definitely not, because I know he plays outside linebacker and he plays defensive end, which I think Patrick Johnson actually had a sack today. He actually had some good pressure today as well. You have Kyron Johnson, which, I felt like, they should have gave more of a shot at defensive end because he just had he's another undersized defensive end that's a little bit more, has some quickness to him, and, ran a 4.3, but, it's just a little, and I'm not saying Nolan Smith is undersized, but, I think Kyron Johnson is definitely undersized, no doubt, and they want to try him more at outside linebacker. So, like I said, linebackers just, like I said, we went through it a million times, but because Nakobe Dean, imagine Nakobe Dean being hurt. Like, what do you have? Like right now in the fifth practice, what do you have? There's really nothing much. There's really nothing much more than that, So you kind of worry a little bit. But really, other than that, I mean, Keely Ringo had a really good day. He came in for James Bradbury today and had a deflection in red zone today, which was good. So I feel like the two cornerbacks that are really doing a lot of work right now, like I think Josh Jobe is one of them. I think Josh Jobe is definitely a starter on the outside. I think Keely Ringo is in line as well behind him. And, obviously nickel is more McPherson and Josiah Scott. I don't know. They have Josiah Scott in front of McPherson. Is he actually better than McPherson? I don't know. So I'm starting to see like what we have depth-wise, what's going on. There's been nothing from Eli Ricks. Mecky Gardner had one big hit in a game, in a practice. That's really it. So nothing much there. Nothing on Greedy Williams as well. So cornerback's been kind of quiet at times. So nothing crazy. But that was the fifth day of Eagles training camp. A lot of questions. Linebacker and safety are really the only things that I'm really like I have to put too much attention to right now because you're looking at a lot of competition at safety and you're just trying to look for, just the right moment to make a move if you really have to let this competition unveil. Or you're going to go, linebacker and say if Nakobe Dean, I think he's okay. I mean, if we hear that he's got a little bit of an injury, then, then there's going to be a problem to where now I have to worry about him getting injured again or something happening. But I think it was most likely precautionary. I really hope so. That's what it was said by one of the Philadelphia Eagles employees that was there. So they just didn't want to just rush him back in. And like I said, it's only the fifth day. It's early. We have 9 days till we have a preseason game. 9 days, guys. We have a week and a half left. I mean, that's pretty fast. I mean, we're getting there pretty quick. If you guys last this long in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and like the video if you guys haven't. Cover the Eagles training camps every single day. Practice tomorrow, 10 a.m., and then most likely off Saturday. So definitely check that out. We'll be streaming all of the Eagles preseason games, taking notes from everything, and kind of going over everything as well. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty pumped about it for another practice tomorrow and see what else is about to unveil with this roster, especially defensively. I'm not even worried about our offense. I don't even care about our offense besides certain things, but I'm more worried about this coordinator, this defense, how it's going to look, the competition at safety and linebacker. Is there something there? Do we have to make a trade? There's just questions you have to ask yourself sometimes. So that's all I got to say. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you think the safety and linebacker position, do you think we're vulnerable? Do you think like we have to start panicking now? You guys let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake some up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.